just set up a.
This is the way we go live. Folks, I hope you're enjoying the flames. This might go up in flames. But in any case, welcome to the Tenkar's Tavern Chat, Gamers Health Live, New Year's Eve spectacular. I am Eric Tenkar, like a bartender in the OSR. With me is my lovely wife, Rach, who you see every Saturday, but hey, bonus time.
Right.
With us is Shadow and Sun. If you haven't seen their channel, they do miniature painting like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! And we just got some sneak peeks at some. I'm gonna have to call it gifts that are in the works. And oh my god!
Yeah.
And
I can't. Yes,
and the two miscreants below us, who are acting like a long-term husband and wife, which way they should be, is none other than Tom and Tammy.
Hi guys.
Little tap room representing
Tom and the good wife.
Yeah.
And the good wife.
No.
As opposed to the bad wife.
Because we already had the bad wife. We've upgraded.
Aww.
Got to at some point.
It was like going from a beater to a Maserati.
Oh, well, you see, you can't refer to a wife as a beater. I'm sorry. It's
true story. That's true.
I wish I had beaten the first one.
Oh, Thomas!
No,
he does not.
Okay, now.
Oh my goodness.
That's a great way to start the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then you'll notice during the show, it'll be like, I'll just shove him out and it'll just be me.
Do you want to step and poop now or later? Why wait? Let's get it out of the way.
Hey, the divorce is already finalized.
Yeah,
can't go back on that.
I know how to do it.
So hello to T. Taylor, Tiatus, Paul. We got a large number.
Nice.
And we don't have our famous Filipino karaoke going on today.
They did it early last night.
Oh, they did it early last night, and they got it early this afternoon. And I guess they got a visit because they got very quiet. I don't know how it happened. I just don't know.
Oh, look. They got a dog. They got a puppers. Where's our puppers?
Oh, he's so cute.
He's probably snoring on the couch.
At our point,
our princess is lounging in her bed.
And our kitty will probably come along and get annoyed when we're here for too long until we're like,
your cat was photobombing you last night. He was looking right over your shoulder, and I was like, he's just looking right over your shoulder. It was really cute.
Like, why aren't you doing? What are you doing? Come on, Daddy.
Oh, really? It said he was back here and peeking in the video. Oh.
So, by the way, the flames, the fire, I figured it was pretty good because it's New Year's Eve. I thought it was appropriate. Yeah. But it's also going to be the background when I kick off the Fireside Chats in 2024. And I got people like no dates set yet, but James Raggy's agreed to do it, and Wenger, and what the hell are you doing, Tammy?
Sorry, he's trying to get the dog in. This dog's 115 pounds, but
so it's something
you wake me up. I was snoring on the couch.
Now the pet show. Eric, have you reached out to George and Dave from Emperor's Choice? I know they'll be there. You asked us, they will be there for
sure. George and Dave, we've had them on before on Talking Crit. I'm sure George would love to come back. Probably Dave too.
They're the best.
George and I usually have like a phone call once a month just to catch up and keep things going. But I want to do the fireside chats because when we have people on, first off, it's usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. Some people can't sit through that. Understandably, I can't unless I'm part of it. But the fireside chats are going to be probably 15, 20 minutes. and I want to bring in people from across gaming that don't only get a chance, or even people that are my normal co-hosts and my friends. And just, how did you get into gaming? How did you get into the creative aspects that you are in? Whether you are a YouTuber or a writer or a publisher,
that's a really cool
a
concept.
painter. I want people to, as opposed to just hear about some of the games, I want them to get an idea of what makes you tick as a gamer. And I figure we can.
Well, and then also what engaged you in this hobby, like. I think that's really interesting because you learn so much about people, when you hear about people's process of like getting into it. Like, and it's funny. I had another person in my yoga class that she was. We all had like a research project or some sort of project that we had to work on, to get our credential. And so, she was looking at what were the things that brought you into the yoga community.
Oh, okay.
And it was interesting to see like, some of the things that sort of hooked people in.
I want to know how people came into how you found gaming, whether it was a friend, a relative, somebody gave you the goddamn box at Christmas time and told you to learn it, which I've heard a lot of those stories. And what turned you into a creative?
Right.
I mean, and some people are creative in multiple ways.
Creative bit too.
But what started that spark? Was it a person? Was it a drive? Was it a moment? Did you have that, like, you're in the shower and you go, I've got an idea? I mean, that's what I want to know. And I don't know again, when we bring people on the show, we just hang out. Like tonight, we're hanging out. There's no script. There's no questions. Anybody's going to talk about what they want to talk about. And I think that's what makes it special. But if I'm going to bring people on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, I want us to be a bit more focused, but the focus should certainly be them. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to, I started doing that. I thought about it like over the weekend. I'm like, you know what? Some of these live streams, I'm going to go in and start taking pieces out, short pieces. And maybe it's a short, maybe it's just another video. And people can get samples of what these live streams are about, see it, and go, oh, wow, the live stream where Tom and Don were hanging out. Oh, that was actually, holy crap. Okay. It's like, Tom was insightful. Don had some great thoughts about publishing that nobody else was thinking about. That's the stuff I want to highlight so people can go back then if they want to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours watching a live stream. They kind of know what if they're going to be interested, if that's going to work for them. So 2024 is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, I think that project or that sort of theme with your interviews will be interesting too, because it'll also show you a lot of the strengths of the community where, sometimes people might say, oh, it's not so inclusive or, whatever they say.
Right.
But you can be able to, sort of look at it and see like, what were the hooks what was that got people in?
Right.
And, for some people,
I have a suggestion for you. It sounds like, it reminds me of Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, never read it.
JFK. Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar later on wrote a book called Profiles in Black Courage, and I picked it up for like $3 at a discount book bin and read it. It was absolutely fabulous. The only chapter I really disagreed with much was his thesis statement in the first chapter, but other than that, fabulous book. And I think what you're really talking about here is profiles in gaming.
Yeah.
Kind of a catchy little title. I throw it out there for you. Seems like that's what you were talking about, and that might actually really catch on.
Yeah. Again, I love it when we bring people on to the live show. Oh, look at that. My animations are taking off.
We don't have that.
Yeah, no,
I realized today, I kept on thinking, oh, it's my chroma cam. I was like, how's it working when I don't have like a VR background up? and then I realized it's my Logitech camera software. So
I have
We
Logitech.
got a lot.
Yeah.
No, you have ViewSonic.
Oh, I got a ViewSonic.
it doesn't like you, Rach, but it likes me. So if I do this, oh,
It probably flew through me.
yeah, I don't know. But what can I say? Because when I had the podcast, I used to do a series of fireside chat. I did so many short interviews with people, especially during the first Scene Quest, that I was scheduled to do sometimes 4 interviews or 4 sit downs in a day. Thank God you were still working, Rach, because that would have been very interesting if you were.
Oh yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
But it was a
Back to
busy
work.
time. I wanted it to be something that's a bit more relaxed. So the initial plan is, if you're a member, you'll get it the same day of release. But then if you're just a subscriber or just a viewer, you have to wait a week. Not a big deal. Everybody gets it, but there's a little benefit for people that are supporting the channel. Which reminds me, Mike. If Mike shows up, I might have to get him a new headset. That's what I use the money for this channel, is to get my co-host's equipment, and his headset's been crapping out the last couple of weeks.
Oh, it's true.
We've been doing our show on for the better part of like 3 years on a $200 tablet. So,
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Really?
Wow.
and you know, up until the last year, you know,
I mean, we film on just a small camcorder.
right. Well, I mean,
Oh.
An
you know,
actual
like,
camcorder? Like camcorder?
I think so.
well, it's a video camera.
Yeah.
We do different things. Like right now, we're actually on a brand new laptop, but you'd be amazed. I know a friend of ours. He does a show from his phone, and
A lot of folks do that.
Who's
Believe-
that one?
both. A lot of technology, a lot of tablets and phones, and the smaller technology is actually more geared for live streams and video calls, and it's actually better than some of the better equipment that you would think, you know, would be more professional programs, but it's actually not. You'd be surprised what you can get away with a shoestring budget, and that's been the name of our game since day one.
That's awesome.
Well,
I mean, my iPad will follow the face.
Yep.
It's an iPad Pro, and it'll just follow my face,
which
makes it hard. Like if you do yoga online, because it's like it just zooms to your face, and I don't know how to disable it. And then it and it doesn't zoom to to be able to see like what the body's doing fully.
Well, the cheat that we use is that she's an educator,
Mm-hmm.
so she got the educator's discount on Adobe tools,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and I just log into her account and use them.
Well,
I think I'm actually using my buddy's StreamYard account. He doesn't know about it because I'm a moderator, and he actually pays for the monthly.
Oh my
and
god!
I found out because if you don't pay for the monthly, you get 20 hours a month.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I just did like 50 hours this month. How'd that happen?
Oh
I
wow!
was fiddling around. I realized I'm doing it on his account, but
Do you know who?
yeah, Nathan.
Nate. You've been robbing him this whole He started after you.
I know.
Well,
You only got him to start doing the show so you could rob him afterwards.
Yep.
This is the conspiracy. This is the truth he doesn't want you to know about, guys. He's been robbing
I
Nathan
just told
this
him.
entire
That's okay. It's in 2023. In a few minutes, we'll be in the next year. It's all behind you.
It'll be a year ago.
Yeah, I don't know if the limitations.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry,
That's the
that'll be
problem with doing this with your son. He's gonna out you.
We have
He's nice, guys. You know, believe it or not, it was his idea. The whole show, the whole channel. I didn't know anything about.
Yep, that's total truth, and he's not lying whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm apparently famous for lying.
Yeah, that's your job.
He was
your
11
job.
years old. He was 11 years old, and we were getting a big Kickstarter of miniatures from Archon Studios. This big Dungeons and Lasers, dungeon terrain, Lego-like set. And he's like, Dad, we should do an unboxing video. And I wasn't watching YouTube at all.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And
Is
I'm
that
like,
the story you tell yourself?
yeah, because it's true. And he said, let's make an unboxing video. And I'm like, what?
No, I'll ruin it for you.
And we made our first video. It was cringy as all get out, but you know,
I've been there.
I think everybody feels that way about their first.
well, it's not just the only one that's pretty cringy. It's actually, there's a couple that are worse.
Oh,
Mutant Chronicles.
Don, I love the half in the light, half in the shade. That's awesome, man. That's great.
Oh my goodness.
On the road,
George.
dealing.
Aw.
So me and Tina just
Hey,
wanted
how
to
you
say
guys
Happy
doing?
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Tina.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Stay safe out there.
On the road we are. So I'm gonna get off here because I'm on the highway and we got police all over the place
Oh, they're
around
out
here.
tonight.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet.
you
So we just want to make sure we said hi to you guys and we're thinking about you and everybody. Happy New Year, okay?
Happy
Yeah,
New
Happy New Year.
We're thinking about you too. Stay well, stay safe.
Will do.
Yep.
All right,
You do.
bye.
I did.
Oh, God. You know, this is
Got
one of
Emperor's
those things
Choice
where-
in the chat. Good
Yep.
deal. We were just talking about you guys just a minute ago.
Yep.
George, Dave, give us a call tomorrow if you're free. Got a couple of questions, and I know Eric and Rach want to have a nice long chat with you guys as well.
Yep. We have to, it's going to be 2024. I know there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with Emperor's Choice. Arduin is I've gotten peeks at the
Got one of their
artwork.
minis right here on the table. Actually, a half a dozen minis on the table right
Yeah.
We have the bug.
Hold on.
The
A
bug.
solo layout, you gentlemen.
Oh wow.
Oh,
If only the
it
camera
Oh,
would
I-
focus.
Put your hand behind it.
There.
Yeah.
oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
You don't move.
That's good detail.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
range for.
Focusing
We
on
live in
my
a day and
hand.
age with so many good miniatures
Why?
out there.
You know what? Our favorite are always metal minis. A lot of people, are more into the newfangled plastics and resin.
Plastics.
Sure.
But I'm old school all the way. Metal minis, sign me up.
Oh, wait,
Although I probably will be getting a 3D printer this year because how can you not? I mean, when
You
you
just have to quote Tombstone.
Yeah.
My hypocrisy knows no bounds.
One base.
a white like a
primer.
primer. Oh.
Yeah.
But I'm with you there on the metal minis. I love metal minis.
they last longer, they have a charm all their own, and they feel like something real and solid, not like a little plastic army man, on the
Right.
table.
Lead rock.
I've got thousands of old minis from back in the day, having worked with several companies and been an avid collector since I was younger than him. I still have things from when I was 13 years old, and I've taken my collection from California to Virginia and back and didn't lose a thing. So apparently I'm a hoarder now. I don't know.
A whole
Well, that's all of us,
Well, it
right?
sounds like you're organized, but you don't lose any of them.
Organized? Did I hear you say organized?
Yeah, or something.
All right. So comparatively, you're all right.
How old is this kid? He's totally like Gabriella Sabrina age.
She's 15 going on 35.
Oh, is he
There you
really?
go.
15? Oh, so percent.
Love connection. You want to hook my boy up? I want grandkids. I want grandkids.
You know, if Bad Mike was here, we'd have the most organized man in the OSR. Which is named because he's obviously not the most organized man in the OSR.
Oh my gosh. Where is he? Is he coming on?
Transfusion?
He's supposed to, but he might have fallen asleep with today's day of football.
3 minutes till the ball drops. What?
Well, for him it isn't even because he's
got an hour. And
Oh,
3
that's
Yeah,
true.
he's
He's
in
got.
Texas.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, 2 minutes now.
Nice.
He hasn't even seen his Facebook invite yet. So
Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Here, I'm gonna ping him again. See if Mike goes. "Ah!"
Yeah.
Wow. All right, 2 minutes, right? So maybe it's time for me to reach down and get this bottle out of
I gotta refill my
La
bottle. You want to
Marca
give me some yours?
Prosecco.
No.
All right, Rachel. Why is it that all these sparklers?
Yeah, I gotta go another 5 years without a drink.
I am looking forward to a new year. It was a good year. 2023 was a great year. But I am looking forward to 2024.
Yeah, I mean,
Me too.
2023 was better than it could have been. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Could have been a lot worse. But I'm looking to a much better, more productive
Yeah.
2024. And, Rach is like, she's gonna wrap it down. Oh my God, we've got. I'm
And
getting.
we got a minute 25. I've got it on the TV next to us.
Yes,
Right in your neighborhood, Eric.
Because we have 30 seconds according to mine.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, and it's on TV, it's 1 minute 16. Isn't that
Oh no. According to Apple, it is
All
about.
right.
It's about.
There's a
15
delay from NYC, Eric.
Yeah, because you guys are out in the sea a little bit more. Going,
Yeah.
right? It was the closer to the date line.
I go from my phone, which would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, Dave.
Happy New Year.
You too, George.
Let me waiting. Just a second. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
It's still mine over here.
All good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will be the last of this great country to celebrate, but I noticed that a lot of people really bagged on this year, and for Jackie and I,
That was pretty cool.
yeah, we were incredibly blessed this year. I'm hoping that we have some friends out there that are not doing too well, health wise and whatnot. There's a lot of us that aren't getting any younger, if you know what I mean, and hopefully they'll have a really, really great year. There's a couple of friends of ours that we know aren't going to be around as long as we'd like, which would be forever. And for all those guys out there, thanks for being there.
I couldn't say it better. I mean, I have a good friend, my mother's generation, retired detective, my old bartender, and he is now celebrating his third New Year, pretty much essentially bedbound. He can get up to use the facilities and maybe use a wheelchair to get out to the kitchen, but if he needs to.
Right. This is his third year of terminal illness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
You know,
He's
where it's like
he's beat the odds already.
right. He's it's always like, is he going to survive this year?
Every day above dirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's you take the blessings that you get. You don't go, oh, but I didn't get. No, take the blessings that you get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know, because I was saying to you, Eric, before we came on air, like I was looking through photos from this past year because I was going to do a Facebook post, which I haven't even done yet. But so I started looking through the photos and I'm like thinking what a tough year this has been. But it was not. It was filled with so much good stuff that it's almost like you forget.
Mm.
But we had a couple of our girls graduate high school. One went on to college. That particular college did not work out for her, but now she's going to UMaine.
Okay.
In a couple of weeks. But it was a tough fall. We had the mass shooting here in Lewiston, Maine, which is right next door to us. We live in Auburn, Maine. That was really difficult, and we had a ton of flooding a couple of weeks ago.
Oh God, yeah.
Hey, sweetie.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's coming too.
Okay.
I was meditating on the last thing my father really taught me was how to wire a house. We had to gut and remodel 2 bedrooms.
Oh wow, that is a
after
skill.
after we evicted a family member who was a problem here, and so I learned wiring.
But
You
that
know,
was like wiring, like old school wiring. Like those were.
yeah, but Dad was very particular. He was Air Force trained. He was very particular. That you do it this way. We do it this. Not everybody does it this. We take this step. It's just one little extra bit of safety.
Mhm.
And I was meditating on that because we had this huge windstorm, and it was blowing sideways, and it blew water into my uncle's house. And he went up. And he says it's not leaking on the roof, but the water was coming through his light fixture in his dining room.
Ooh.
And so he called me to come over and change the light fixture. And
This week.
I take it down, and I see 1920s wiring in there, 2-wire wiring, no ground.
Right.
And the insulation's crumbling and the wire's exposed, no longer insulated. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to rewire everything here or this house will burn down. And it's my aunt and uncle, So, I was
And they're
just,
in their 70s.
and I was just thinking, like, Dad taught me to do this. It was the last thing he taught me, and I'm able to do this for my uncle. And I was just so grateful that that Dad had that. During his 7th go around with cancer, he was able to teach me that, and we did that together. And so I was just so grateful that I was able to do something for my uncle. And the whole time my uncle's like, "Hey, no, I'm gonna pay it." I'm like, "No." He's like, "You're gonna take the money," and so I didn't want to insult him, but I was just because I knew that I would be in trouble with my dad if I didn't.
Sorry. Gabriella. My youngest calling to say Happy New Year from where are you? Old Orchard Beach? Oh, she's in Maine anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyhow, that's my thought on this past year. I was just so grateful for what my dad finally, taught me at the end of his life.
All right. Love you so much.
All right, love you too.
All right. Bye.
Sorry for the interruption.
Don't be.
That's life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
thank God she called in.
Can't
I
game
know,
all
right?
the time, guys. Lord knows I try.
You do. You do.
Fireworks going out over here, going off
Yes.
over here.
So
Real.
the actual fireworks.
Like it was more.
Where I live, you can't really be too sure. It's California, so
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
and that's
Hey,
pretty
we
much
don't
a
know if it's
regular
fireworks or
everyday
firearms.
thing.
Well, I think that's what he's getting at. But firearms, us, we'd be thinking like someone shot a deer. He's thinking, oh, someone just got murdered. Like,
Someone just shot their neighbor or just decided to point their firearm up in the sky because
oh my goodness.
we've had
Oh,
celebrations
I
for
have
like
too.
2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we live out in the desert, so there's a good chance it's not going to hit anything. But
Right, and we're on like the good side of a pretty decent town, but it's still California, so
Right. They were doing a drone thing tonight, like in Auburn, where we live. They were doing instead of fireworks, they were doing a whole drone
Oh yeah.
thing instead of fireworks, which is, I guess, cheaper and I don't know,
More technology.
more
yeah.
technology. But
What does it do? I don't understand.
I don't know, like they
blinking
get
lights.
all these drones and they put them into formations and they light them up and it it can say whatever you could say, like Louis Armstrong.
So they're basically announcing the rise of the Terminators. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
There you go.
That's so kind of true.
Just saying.
It's so kind of true.
I know. I was actually, he has a hat on, and I was thinking I need a funky hat, and the fastest funky hat I could get would be my Cyberdyne Technologies baseball hat. It's got the Cyberdyne patch on there, from the Terminator movies. But I was thinking, what hat can I get?
Oh my god.
Closest one is Cyberdyne.
Oh my god.
You should see this boy's collection of hats. I kid you not. He's got about 30,
I got like at least one,
at least one. No, he's seriously got.
maybe 2 or 3.
He's
Maybe
close
2 or
to 30, almost 40, and they're not like almost none of them are baseball hats.
Oh.
You
None
name
of
it.
them. One of them is kind of a baseball hat, but it's covered in tinfoil.
It's covered in what?
Tinfoil.
Well, you need a tinfoil hat.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
absolutely,
I thought
absolutely.
you had a tinfoil hat. I
That's
did.
what this guy doesn't.
It's hot
Is
to talk like I have a tinfoil
I
hat.
really need to get a tinfoil hat.
yeah. That's how the rabbits were able to infest his body. In case you didn't know, this is another thing they don't want you knowing. But this man isn't human. He's not even a man. He used to be, but one day he was taken out. If you know what I mean by that, and he was replaced by 4 rats. Why do you think he always wears? He always wears a trench coat when he goes out because it's actually just a bunch of rabbits stacked on top of each other, and they just got like they roll a d20 every single time. So he's just perfectly acting like a human because the rabbits are just that lucky.
The hat on his
Earned a new hat.
Oh, the 24 hat. Oh my gosh.
Aw.
I thought he was going to be like, he's really a lizard man, like the movie, like the TV series V.
Oh, remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's an oldie but a
I
goodie.
forgot all about
I
that.
was so addicted to that.
No, he's not Mark Zuckerberg.
Providing it's the oldie, not the newie.
Right. The new,
There's a new one?
the new V that was really, really.
Yeah, but it had my girlfriend in it, so I got to give it a wide berth.
Oh.
Morena Baccara. Sorry.
Uh,
No, the oldie was good. I loved V.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
classic.
he was good.
Absolute
I didn't know
classic.
there was a new one.
My favorite moment was the old Jewish guy catching the kids defacing posters with spray paint. He goes, "What are you doing? You're doing that wrong. I'll show you how." And he does the V, and he goes, "V for victory. Tell your friends." And I was like, this old man telling these kids how to do graffiti. It was just the best moment in that whole series. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yep.
Man. All right. I don't do like real like New Year's resolutions because honestly nobody ever sticks to them, and then it's
Maybe
like,
more of an intention about a certain way you want
Too
to
lofty.
right. But is there something that you're looking forward to 2024 to do, accomplish, go to, something that some event? What are you looking forward to?
We committed to more conventions just because our time at the ShireCon is just, even when I looked through photos earlier, I was like, we had such a good time. There was a night we drank way too much alcohol. But other than that, no, seriously, we thought we were in college. We thought we were in our 20s. I don't know what
I was
happened.
like, I don't remember going to
I
bed.
don't remember what happened. Oh my God. But other than that, like going to visit our hobby community at the ShireCon. And now we're going to go to Total Con.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Good.
no.
Too,
We figured out Total Con was kind of a no-go.
But it's drivable for us.
It's drivable. We were going for a Star Frontiers game, but Oscar's Star Frontiers game is on Sunday, and which we do have a commitment on Sunday. And then the other Star Frontiers games were on Friday and Thursday. So it was like, we can be there on Saturday. And
we're still looking at that because it's drivable, but we're going to Texas finally.
We're definitely going to Texas.
Wow. You're going to love it, Tammy.
I know. I can't wait.
Go out to lunch or,
yeah.
And we still want to make it to WizardCon.
Yes. Yeah, we want to go to WizardCon for sure.
What is that one?
Oh, that's in Michigan.
Oh, Don's one in July, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It'll be June and July will be 2 back-to-backs.
Yeah. Obviously, I'll have to drive, but
that's okay.
We're not driving.
We fly to Texas. Do we drive to Michigan?
We'll fly to Texas.
We're going to drive to Michigan.
Yeah, because I have the time now.
Right?
Yeah. So my New Year's resolution last year was to paint more, and I totally failed.
I didn't know that was your resolution.
I got miniatures over there on the desk. They haven't been touched for months.
Miniatures, you mean?
Yeah.
I totally failed that.
Yeah.
How about
I
you,
did do
Monkey?
a few videos.
You got one? You got a New Year's resolution or something you want to do this year besides make captain? No.
Can you imagine? I would be 15 and be making a resolution. I don't even remember what I would have.
This kid is incredibly motivated, very disciplined. He's he's done so much in such a short time. When he was in middle school, he couldn't wait or look, wait to get out of school, and he would find any excuse to get out of school. You know
What
what I mean?
grade are you in right now?
10th.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Middle school is just like that, I
two and
think.
a half years. He's got 2.5
But
years.
but between his first year and now, he's gone from C plus student to straight A plus.
Wow.
He made first lieutenant in JROTC his first year.
Oh, wow.
He's already had his first job working in the gaming community.
Nice.
I talked about that.
I can say
Oh, they hate when we
we are actually under an NDA, but he's done a bunch of phenomenal things, a lot of volunteer work,
That's amazing.
and he's working on his own video projects. And
He doesn't know what he doesn't know yet.
Just-
Shane,
Right,
I knew nothing. I thought I knew everything. You don't know
Yeah.
anything.
I still know nothing. So
No.
don't feel
Oh.
bad.
I knew everything till I was 22, and then I started to realize I was stupid.
Yeah, but for me, I need to do more reading. I have got a stack of books that I could beat a whale to death
Guilty.
with.
So guilty.
I keep buying more and more. I just got Venger's new book. Well, actually, not his new book, but
He acts like he doesn't. He
So
reads like a book a week.
I used to read a book a day
Right.
before COVID, and something happened. And now, if I pick up a book and I'm in a comfortable position, I might
He
as well
falls asleep.
have taken a sleeping pill.
Though to be honest, he does that all the time.
Yeah,
He used to play video games, fall asleep with the controller in his hand. Now he reads books, fall asleep with them.
I used to read so much.
Yeah, I was literally reading 200 pages a day, a short paperback novel or something like that, and I can't get 5 pages in and before I'm snoring. But you mentioned Texas and conventions. I'm planning on moving the family out to Texas at some point,
Really?
depending on whether or not where he goes to college and that sort of thing, and how it gets out here. But before then, I'm going to be hosting a convention in Texas. I'm not sure where, because my goal is to eventually open up a game shop somewhere in between Temple and Denton, so I could be kind of close to the Reaper Factory and some friends of ours that are out there. But I'll be holding a convention.
To North Texas.
Yeah.
Well,
That's very
you'll be
close.
close to North
Less
Texas.
than an hour away
Yeah,
from.
I've been doing the research, and I'll be doing a convention in 2025 after the Arduin game comes out later this year, so that I can help them out as well, and finally meet a whole bunch of friends of ours that we've met through YouTube. We've
Right.
met a whole bunch of gamers. We met a couple of guys, 2 separate guys on separate occasions. They both live in Texas, and they met through us, and now they're gaming buddies on the weekend because they live 5 minutes away.
Go
And they've
figure.
never met before. So Brian from Weird World War II and Omanal, you guys may know Omanal. He's a regular everywhere. Just doesn't have a channel. And Brian,
Omanal from Everywhere fame.
yeah. It turns out they're 5 or 10 minutes away from each other. Now they're gaming together on the weekends, doing all kinds of stuff. And it just seems to me that Texas is calling. Go figure. And I can't wait to do a bunch of gaming with people, because for the last 3 years the only gaming I do is online. How do you guys feel about online gaming? Do you do it, or
I
you
do.
rather?
We like it.
Yeah.
It's not a great substitute for in person, but
Yeah.
we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rach only games at conventions. I have a regular group with the guys from the Random Party Generator. So it's Joe, the lawyer, Tim Shorts, Rob Conley, Greg Christopher, Matt Jackson when he gets off his ass and stops working his goddamn shift. I'm sorry, but I mean, we're lucky because we've known each other for, in some cases, the better part of a decade or longer.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
when we get together to game, right now it's every other week, but when we get together, it's that usual gaming bullshit, ball busting jokes that go on that you do face to face. Now, my last face to face group was prior to COVID. That was out in Long Island. That was every other week. It was at a game store.
like
And
that's
I
a
got
lot of
invited to the group because I was known in the OSR, and they knew I retired. And I was like, "Hey, perfect timing! You're retired. You can come out and game." And it was a lot of fun. And gaming face to face is certainly a lot of fun. But if I had a choice of gaming face to face with strangers or gaming with a gaming group online that I have bonded with to the point where, you know, we have a text group that I had to put on silence so I could sleep at night because the text messages are nonstop. It was keeping me awake. We're constantly texting, or we're doing, again, this is the group I do the random party generator every other week with. You have that bond. So I don't feel lost, but I do enjoy face-to-face gaming. So when I run games at conventions, the joke is I don't sit. My chair, if I have an 8-person table, it's technically a 9-person table. I can take one walk up because I will not use my chair. I walk around the table because I find that most conventions are loud.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they are.
Okay. And my way to combat that is to walk around it. All I ask is give me a table where I can actually walk around my table. I've been to conventions where you can't. The tables are that close that you can't. People are back to back and from another table. If I can walk around the table, I can engage my group and I can hear what they're saying. I'm not going to say, "What did you say? What are you doing?" I can make sure everybody is involved in the game. I have fun doing that.
Yeah.
That was
You know,
ShireCon 2 years ago.
Yeah.
you know,
I get that because Eric, you do a good job of like engaging, and I've only been in 2 of your games at ShireCon 2 times, but you do a good job in that, being able to get up and walk around. I get that. There's a creative component to that. Actually,
it wasn't so easy for him to do 2 years ago, but the last location was
it
really
was
a
much
great
roomier.
location.
All right.
Yeah.
It lends itself to being able to
yeah.
move through the space. So
Yeah. I mean, it's really, it's much more spacious. Even if the acoustics aren't the best, that's fine. As long. Now, if I was playing with my home group, would I walk around the table? No, because you don't have the background noise, and you kind of know your players at that point. But when you're doing a convention game, I like if I've done convention / pickup games online, and that is hard because it's hard enough to keep the attention of players that are your friends that you have a bond with, and that's my group. We're all GMs. We all kind of rotate throughout the year or years as to who's going to be GMing. But when you're doing that with like a group of strangers, like an online convention or a game day, I've done that for Frog God. It's different because you can't, even with video, you can't get that eye contact. You can't. You don't know the voices yet, so you're not. At a convention, I don't have to know your voice. I can see where it's coming from. I can sense it. I can get the direction.
That's one of the things I noticed that I like the most, though, about online gaming is right now, every time I'm in a game with dungeon masters, people who've actually read the books, that have done the research, that have run games. And, you'd think that would be a nightmare scenario with a whole bunch of big, gigantic egos and whatnot, but it's not. All us old guys, and gals who've been dungeon masters forever, we finally get to be on the other side of the DM screen and just relax and just go, oh yeah, this is what brought me into the hobby in the first place. Back when we were 13-year-old little kids with some older brother or cousin dungeon master and a horrible game for us, and we were still loving it. The playing wrong and interpreting the rules wrong and whatnot. And now I get to play with some of the greatest minds in as far as I'm concerned in the hobby. I played with just some phenomenal GMs as cohorts in our quest for adventure, as well as getting to be in some games with some people that growing up, my game table was me as the DM for 40 years and the same schmoes, coming and going. A couple would stay,
Right.
a couple of new ones, back and forth, but not one of them in 40 years ever said, "Hey, Shadow, I want to run a game." Nah, nope, none of that. I have gamer buddies. They've been gaming with me for 30 years. They don't even own a single book. They got their character sheet and a peachy from back in the day. They show up with some dice, and they wouldn't even know where to look in a book. They know their characters, but GMs, nah.
We should have lived close together.
Yeah, well, see, like my old gaming group, my high school, college group, that lasted through when I was in the academy, and then once I got out of the academy and lost my weekends off, it faded. We're still in contact. We still gather once a year, and for years we were doing multiple like EverQuest and crap like that. But when we were gaming, I was the D&D DM, except for one short, like 3-session game where somebody else ran 2E. No, it wasn't 2E, 1E with Unearthed Arcana briefly. And D&D in any flavor was mine. That being and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. But if they wanted to play other games, my friend Dave would step up, but he would never run D&D. He's like, no, D&D is you. D&D is you. I'll run Rifts. I'll run, whatever the other science fiction game was.
Traveler.
No.
Space opera.
It
wasn't space opera.
It wasn't space opera. It was from the same time frame as Rifts, and it had, I think, 3 different races. One of which was like a reptilian, like ogre race. I can Battle Lords of the 23rd century. He ran that. That's what he would run, but he'd run it for a couple of months, and then he'd be like, "All right, now we need D&D again." Eric, you're up. I was like, all right. I got.
It's a risk to do that, especially if you feel like maybe unsure or you don't have the same background or like full knowledge. I mean, yes, you can get it. You can read the book. You can, do that. But I guess not everybody is willing to take that risk of.
Well, it is a risk. You're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's.
And you have to know so much.
Well, the race. There's a reason.
And you have to be able to do the math.
There's a reason why Swords and Wizard Light is 4 pages and 2 dice and very little math. Mm-hmm. Besides the fact that it runs very well at conventions because it's so light, you can hand the rules out and people got it right away and can create the characters and have something they can bring back the following year. But it was written with the idea of you in mind and Shannon, my niece, who was 5 years old at that time, because I wanted something that I could say, hey, it's not intimidating. It's not a book. It's a folder. Look at this. Look.
Yeah.
Right.
And you only got to worry about 2 pages. And heck, even less than that, if you're playing a fighter or a thief, all you got to do is worry about this 1/4 of a page that explains what you exactly do. And I think... Listen, I'm not good at game design because all I did was take Matt Finch's work and take, 120 pages of white box and rip everything out and then rebuild it to 4 pages. So, I mean, the hard work was done. I just had to distill and distill and distill. But my goal was something that was going to be approachable, feel like classic D&D. So if you gave it to somebody who hadn't played in 30 years, like they played in their 20s and now they're in their 50s, you hand it to them, they go, oh yeah, that 20-sided die, I remember this, and they'll fit right back in with lacking that intimidation. I think it's important to bring people those sheets. That was even my idea. That was Zach Glazer.
The character cards.
Character cards were a beautiful concept. When Zach thought that up, I was like, "You're kidding me?" He goes, "No."
Has hers out.
So,
guys, Jackie's going to take off.
Yep.
He's got to take care. Family's calling him downstairs. We got a house full of guests.
Oh my gosh!
Enjoy.
thank you for being with
Happy
us.
New Year.
Enjoy your new year,
Thank
2020.
you.
Thanks for reminding me.
You guys will see him around. He's doing his own show starting Monday on our channel. He's going to be doing his own show. branching
Ah.
some
What's
other-
it called?
some
It's called the Jim Lemmy Show.
other- inside joke. It's
Yeah.
a long story.
Like
But you
Jim GYM or Jim JIM?
It's a long story
It's
to
Jim.
explain.
JIM.
It's just JIMLEUMY.
It's just a character he created to do stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, like
We
a
wanna
late night
support that.
talk show, but like just a parody of the genre.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know what I do with
Oh
that.
my
character.
gosh.
Yeah. But you'll see him around. I'm going to stick around with you guys for a little while longer before they drag me off to the festivities as well. It's still kind of early here.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
So,
All right, well, I dare.
so Eric, I
Yes.
just wanted to interject. I had fallen away from role playing, and only my brother was going to Iraq, and I was looking for a gift for him because I knew he was downloading a lot of books to his computer to play AD&D Second Edition in Iraq. And so I wandered into this place called the Hobby Bunker, which is a wargaming store. But, they sell a little bit of RPG stuff. And, I see at the back, there's all these tables and people standing around them. It happened to be a Saturday, which means, wargamers were playing. And
Right.
I walked up and I'm looking and they're like, hey, you want to push 2 regiments? And they gave me 2 regiments of cavalry. I was instantly hooked on wargaming. That's how I got back in the hobby and started painting miniatures. And but the wargaming club that was formed there, they wanted to start doing some RPG, and it happened to be at Chris Berge's house. He lived in East Boston where I lived, and so somebody came up with this Witch Hunter RPG.
Oh, I've seen it. Yep.
Yeah, it was first edition Witch Hunter, and nobody wanted to be the game master. And I said, well, yeah, I'll be the game master. I'll take the book. We had one book. Somebody had bought a book, and I read it. And I ran about 3 games. And after 3 games, I was like, I would rather slit my own wrists than game master this game. It was
That
not
bad,
a
huh?
game master friendly game. They loved the game I was delivering, but it was a game that sucked for being a game master. I absolutely hated it. And I was like, stick a fork in me. I am so done. I need
Oh,
a
so
break.
the work
can't
was
deal with
talking
this.
towards the
Yeah.
GM to
Well,
And-
go ahead.
I've heard it's in second edition, so I don't want to totally back the bus up over it.
But, my return to gaming was thanks in large part to this young lady over here. Because when we started dating, I had just started playing Fantasy Grounds, whatchamacallit, Dark Heresy, which is the Warhammer 40K. And I just got into a group. It was no video, no speech. It was all text. And Rach would be like, no, you should be playing. Like on a Saturday night, I was like, what?
Hmm.
And I played that, and I played some Castles and Crusades. And hold on a second, we gotta.
It's your son.
No, it's
No,
bad break.
it's Shannon.
Oh,
Shannon.
Shannon!
Happy New Year, Shannon.
Shannon, Happy New Year!
oh, they got their horns.
There you go, Shannon. You're famous now.
She is.
Well, yeah, we've watched her grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Where are you guys?
My house.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where you should be. Thank God for that. You shouldn't be out on New Year's Eve. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I was on the street.
Well, I'm glad you're not.
Oh,
I'm glad you're not.
you weren't alone, were you?
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh, what
All right.
happened?
No,
Is that
no.
Michael Bublé?
All right, girl. We'll let you. We're doing a live.
What are you saying?
We'll let you go, girl.
Bye.
Enjoy, ladies.
She's
I
with
think I
her.
hear Kate there.
I hear Kate. Yes, but oh God, but Rach brought me back in, and then I became friends with people like Joe the lawyer, Greg Christopher, and Greg Christopher got into
Yeah.
the D&D Next beta testing. the friends and family early on, and he formed a group, and he wanted OSR people and third edition people, and he wanted 4E people.
Were we married by then?
No,
Oh,
and actually no, yeah, we might have been.
that was that group that you were going
Yeah.
to Village.
No, Greg was
No?
Greg was online.
Oh yeah, and he was going through some changes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, and Greg GM'd that. He DM'd that for about 8 or 9 sessions, and every couple of sessions the rules would change, and then Greg went, "Listen, we have a good group, with the exception of one player, the 3 player, but that's another story." He goes, we have a good group, but he goes, but I can't do it anymore. Kind of like you.
So you
I
dumped
can't.
the game and just
He
did
dumped, and he
better
said,
game.
and then he said, and I need a break.
Oh,
So I hadn't DM'd in 1997 was my last time DMing. So this is probably 2011. So it was a long break. And I was like, all right, I'll go with what I know. 1E and 1E / Osric. And I used Rob Conley's Black Marsh setting and did a sandbox. And then after that, I used Dax. But I mean, it was.
did you know Rob then?
I didn't know Rob then.
No.
I just knew his work. I didn't know shit when I was an initial blogger. Rob used to have to approve comments, and he took like 6 hours approving a comment of mine, and I got all pissy and obnoxious. I'm like, "What? My shit ain't good enough for me to comment on your?" And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
"No, I listen."
I get that. I have to have my comments approved on Tenkar's Tavern.
Well, there's for the Facebook group, it was getting trolled at one point, so I had to do that. And slowly, as it goes on, I can, when I remember, I pre-approve people that I know and all that stuff. But people can be, as we all know, on the internet can be a bunch of downright. Your son's not here. I can say this: cock-sucking assholes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. And
You know a few.
and the thing is, these are people who, generally speaking, and I'm going to paint with a wide brush. If you met them face to face, would be like, oh yeah, hi, hi, yeah. No, that was meant. I didn't mean to say that to you. I meant to say that to the other Tenkar dude guy, because
What?
the reality is, shit that you would not say at your neighborhood bar after 8 pints in an hour, you will say totally sober on the internet, because there's no threat. My friend John, the one that is right now home hospice, all this stuff.
3rd year.
Was it six? When he was
79,
75. When he
he
was
was still laying out people in the
one
bars
punch, laying people
because
out,
they were like, "Oh, you're old. Yeah, you can go first, man. Come on." And then he'd
and lay him out.
on the floor.
they'd
Like,
be
go
on-
ahead. Think that I have no advantage. Go ahead.
So I mean, but on the internet, everyone's like, "Oh, you, hey." It's like no respect. That hey, you can't touch me, hey.
I don't have it. I don't know why people would do it. Like,
Good night, George.
until
What?
I started doing this thing with you,
Right.
I never said anything untoward
I never had anything toward sent for you.
on the internet. Like
So true,
I
Rachel.
never had to call anybody names or I never had to do anything like until
Didn't have to defend myself.
Yeah.
I just say positive stuff on there. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I like your this, and oh, your making's great in your video, or whatever I'm gonna say, or
I
whatever.
was the same way 3 years ago.
Meditation.
I was never even online.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I didn't do any of that. I was, gaming with my friends. I haven't stopped gaming since I was 13, and I'm 56 now. Not one week went by that I wasn't gaming, but I wasn't online. I wasn't doing any of that.
Yeah.
Right.
It was painting or writing or taking care of the boy, all this stuff. That kid is an internet genius. Everything I've learned about the internet, for the most part, has been from him, or hanging out with great folks like you and some other content creators. I was just on not on a show, but in the chat room of another show that's probably on right now. Talking about these keyboard warriors. That was a whole new thing. I never even heard the term, and now I'm fortunate that we try to run a wholesome show, but when we come on shows like this, don't let that kid fool you. He can swear like a drunken sailor.
Quite sure.
Despite his incredibly
he was holding back. I kind of got that. I was like,
but despite his incredibly religious nature, and his religious leanings, he's not going to take any crap from anybody.
No, good.
But he's a good kid. But it just blows me away with the way people will treat each other online because of the anonymity, as opposed
to
to
brave, right? They get brave and stupid.
We call it
we've never really had any. We've had a couple of trolls. A funny story. I was doing a show last Thursday. I was doing a paint and chill stream. I do one every Thursday, and someone new wanted to come into the show, and I'm like, I vet everybody before I let them on. It's usually people I know. A couple of people. I back in the day, I was taking a chance. I saw their name, and I'm like, you know what? You sound like someone I can hang out with, and every time it's turned out stellar. I've made some absolutely wonderful friends. But last Thursday, this woman decides, she's got a channel of her own, and she wants to come in, and she's a veteran and wanted to talk because we were talking military stuff, and she's in the green room, and I didn't let her in because of like I'm going to check out your channel, etc. The next thing I know, I'm seeing parts of her anatomy that I'm like, you're kidding me. You honestly think I'm going to let you on the show now? After I'm just like,
for love, and
I am never in my life would I imagine that sort of thing would happen. And I'm trying to maintain my composure because it was more humorous than anything else.
Yep.
I'm sure.
She's definitely not a
it's more humorous than anything else that your wife
past her expiration date. We'll just say that.
Oh no!
I mean, one of her lines was, I'm probably old enough to be your mom. I'm like, that's not helping. That's not helping.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I know I can't let you on now. I thank God I didn't, and then she pulled that. But like, people just absolutely, I don't know what it is about the internet. They just lose their freaking minds.
I mean, here's the weird thing, though. I mean, like that was happening before the internet. I mean, I worked retail for a major New York City department store that no longer exists. I worked in the electronics department going through college, and back then, people would call up to ask. There was no internet. You asked questions by calling up the department store, the department in question,
the helplines, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I was selling stereo equipment, TVs, and I got a question about some stereo equipment, and the voice sounded vaguely familiar. I couldn't place it. I was like, and then she's asking me about receivers and stereo equipment, and then she goes, "What kind of music do you listen to?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I listen to. I'm mostly like, rock, classic rock. Now this is, late '80s." So even then, I mean, classic rock, you had to go back for classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "How old are you?" I went to myself, like, you're thinking, like, first off, you're thinking you're making a sale with a commission, so you gotta but you're like going, why am I being asked my age? So I was like, I don't know, like 25, like I think it was probably 25, 26, probably 25. Oh my God, you're such a baby. There's so much I could teach you. Click. I hung up. Wasn't worth the sale. I didn't care where it was going.
Oh, no.
She was apparently a DJ at the and I'm guessing like the overnight DJ at the rock station because I only listen to music usually in the evenings at night. And that's why her voice is vaguely familiar. I was like, I don't. No, it wasn't any of the ones that we know on like. It's nobody that's kind of like dying, literally dying on Sirius XM. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's none of the ones.
It's like it's not any of those ones with the dancers.
Yes. Oh God. It's not.
XM.
I need more of that
Well,
collie dent for my dentist to get
I'm
it
so
included.
well learned on the internet that I will not say people's names. I'll like say maybe I'll say like an initial or two. And
Oh God.
And probably everybody would know this person, but it's like
No, it isn't like Sandy Shores or any of the those wacky names these DJs have. I don't remember the name was. All I knew was, yeah, he had mentioned she was a DJ. Once you said that, I was like, it's not worth the sale. Click. I gotta go. Let somebody else deal with this shit. She can deal with Murray Tick. Murray was in his 60s. Then Murray would be the angry Jew asking you, "You're wasting my time. What do you want to buy? Tell me now."
What charge card are you using?
Murray was my head of sales. I loved Murray to pieces, but Murray would be like, "You're wasting time. I have customers. What do you want, Eric? Take it."
I don't know what it is about technology, but people just completely just lose it. They
Well,
yeah, I don't know. Like,
Well,
especially
should I talk about this meeting online?
especially throwing certain things out there online.
Well, I paid attention to the online dating app where Tammy and I met, and I noticed that women would say things like, "If you're showing me a picture of your motorcycle, your hairy chest, or the fish you caught, I don't want to know you." So I made sure I didn't have any of those pictures.
Literally, I can tell you as a girl,
He had to scrub his whole thing.
so many pictures on motorcycles and on boats and with fish, and I was like, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that,
tell them
honestly.
the picture
but-
I had online.
Okay. Listen, it worked out, but let me tell you, this man, your picture, you got so lucky. I don't even, because his picture was in a banana outfit, a banana costume.
I was wearing a banana costume.
Aw.
It was Halloween. I took a picture with my kid.
I know, but the fact that you got me, I'm just saying.
What? But you know what? That shows a lot. Like, the picture of Rach that I saw, and listen, Rach makes no secret of it. She's legally blind, but it was taken in her courtyard, and I thought I was legally blind because I was like, all I can see is this blonde woman with a long ass dog. I was like, but at least I know she likes animals because you used to spend your time with that whole like eHarmony shit and be like,
Right.
all right, now we're getting real conversation.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I'm a cat person. Oh, I'm allergic to all animals. Cross
No,
you
I
off
never
the
paid
list.
that money for that. That was the bougie one. I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not. And then they're like, we'll just go on the free weekend. And then like the free weekend, they're like, this shit's a
Eric,
lot of
you were
work.
so
This
lucky.
shit's wacky to get you to put that
No.
$40 a month on there.
eHarmony was like 19 steps before you can communicate
Oh,
the rest of it.
Seriously,
whatever the hell it was.
seriously.
Too much.
And for $4.99, we can't. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you throw the shit up against the wall, see what sticks, keep on moving if nothing does.
So true.
Well, Cal Vanani says, I behave myself. And I always said, after a little bit of time of trying to do the online dating, that just behave yourself like your mother is sitting in the room next to you.
Oh, geez.
Oh God, yes.
If you behave yourself like your mother's sitting in the room next to you, nobody's going to have a problem with you.
Right.
No,
Right.
seriously, if because are you going to be doing those kind of pictures that shadow and
No,
sun?
but I don't.
No, you're not. But if your if you behave yourself as
You
if your
did
mother's
behave yourself.
watching,
Yeah, you did.
you're not going to get in trouble. And did I behave myself?
You did, and then you didn't.
Well, that was when I told you. That
Oh,
was when I told you to meet me
At Denny's at like
Denny's.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah.
Denny's.
I'll have a
That's
grand
so
slam,
cute.
please.
Just saying.
I think I had chicken fried steak.
If you can share food at Denny's on your first date,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not have your date walk away after watching you eat. at
Exactly,
Denny's,
Eric.
then you're good.
Exactly.
That's so true.
And she went to set build for her latest play with this big grin across her face, and everybody was like, "All right,
You
what's
don't
up?"
even know. Like set
Yeah.
build is like an entire day.
I kept her up all night, and then she went to set build.
I hadn't had any sleep. And my
No sleep.
stage manager kept going, Why do you have this weird grin on your face? What is going on? I'm like, nothing, I'm good. What?
Meanwhile, I was getting some sleep. It was day, I was getting sleep on day shift.
Aw.
For Rach and I, when we had our first date and we finally met, my friend Kenny, God bless him. By the way, lawyer turned doctor, so Kenny is right now going.
Lawyer turned doctor?
Oh
Wow.
yeah. He's
And he's 50.
Well, his
Yeah, he
parents
started-
were
He's 50.
Yeah.
Your age? He's your age?
He's my age, yeah. So he's just started his 7th month of residency.
Yes.
So God bless Ken. He brought me into. He did a lot of great things for me. He brought me into gaming. He was my first DM. But when I was courting Rach, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are going to actually meet now." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right. You know what they always say about coffee shops, right?" I go, "What? Don't do it." I go, "What do you mean don't do it?" He goes, "Too much forcing you to talk, and movies forces you not to talk." I go, "Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! What kind of advice is this shit?" He goes, "New York City." He goes, "You're in New York. You work downtown. Go to a comedy show." I go, and he also did stand up for a while too. Let's go to a comedy show. You'll have a chance to talk, but at the same time, there's a lot of distractions going on, and you're not forced to
Well,
talk
and then
the
you
whole
also
time.
learn about the person's humor, and
Yes.
if that can work.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So I
true.
learned quickly that Rach thinks very well on her feet. You want to discuss why? Do you remember what was asked?
Yeah, I think he was like fishing for people
The
like in
comedian,
the audience,
yeah.
and so like he says to Eric, "Oh, you must be an accountant." I was like, "Yeah, he's totally an accountant."
I was like, "Oh, thank God she didn't blow me up like
Yeah.
a cop." I was
Right.
I mean, I
Because of course you're proud of your policeman, you know.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
you're not
I-
there.
I literally walked to the Comedy Cellar, which is where this was, from my job. Left my car parked where it was. Walked to meet Rach.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was really close.
Very close.
And then afterwards, it was
What
like,
is it, McDougal or something?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
afterwards, after we finished up, and we went to McSorley's.
Well, first we had to go to the burrito spot. 'Cause
Oh,
Nicholas
that's
ate.
right. Yes.
So we went to Benny's Burritos. That's a big village, or a big city.
I don't even remember the
Burrito
burritos. I don't
spot. And
remember
then,
the burritos, but I remember
and then I
McSorley's.
was like, hey, let's have some light and darks over at McSorley's.
And I couldn't-
That's a test for me to see how.
Oh,
they
I knew
handle
I
McSorley's
knew it was a test, and I had no way. I was like, you know what? Just follow her lead because I've never been here. It's one of those weird places where there's only 2 beers on tap, light and dark.
Oh my God.
That's
So
it.
you order 2 of each.
Yeah, and they're ordered in pairs.
You don't order one light,
No,
one dark.
if you want one light, one dark, you order 2 of each, and you share it with somebody. And the cheese platter. Rach, do you want to describe the cheese platter? Because I think you need to describe.
Okay,
it.
so I had taken another date, and this is where he failed. He was really into Zagat, the Zagat survey for all the restaurants. He was a lawyer, so he'd like I take him there.
I
And,
just saw an SNL skit on that.
on. And so, I was like, everybody raves about their cheese platter. You gotta try this cheese platter. So, I take him in there and I order the beers and I order the cheese platter. The cheese platter comes and it's like basically this pissed off Irishman coming out with like like some onions, and he throws down like a package of pre-sliced Cracker Barrel and places some saltines down. No plates, no platter. And so this guy was like, this place isn't second rated. And I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, but it's very good. And that's the only food that they have in there is that cheese platter. So
I was a keeper apparently.
and so when he knew to go up and order the two lights, two darks, I was like, all right, he passes.
That I just looked and I looked at how the things were. I think it said, everything was listed in pairs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, obviously you got to order. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, this poor guy, he went up and he's like, I'll have one light and one dark. And like he was like, I don't know why this guy is so mad at me.
My gosh.
But I knew I passed the test when Rachel said yes to me driving her home. She lived in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And we were in Lower Manhattan. And I figured if I came off as a total sleaze, she would have said, no, I'll take a cab.
Right.
Said, okay. I was good. I didn't even attempt to walk into her apartment because I wasn't going to be that guy. I just gave her a kiss and it was like, all right, that went well. I was like, I don't mind paying all the city tolls, the extra monies to get her up to the Bronx.
No, man, we took the Willis Avenue. Who are you kidding?
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
And the rest, as they say, was history.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean,
awesome.
the two little stories on the side of this is, my father. Rachel and I were dating for a little bit, and my father pulls me aside and just goes, "Don't fuck this up." I go, "What are we talking about?" He goes, "Rachel." He goes, "She's a keeper. Don't fuck this up. You're not gonna find better."
It took him a while to tell me that.
You're not gonna find better.
That's so funny.
But don't wait too long. If you wait too long,
funny.
you're gonna fuck this up. Like if you wait too long, she's gonna figure out, Jesus, stay away from this guy. Well, apparently my son and my father were talking. My son was about the same age as your son, Shadow. I think he was just short of 17 though. He was 16. He was almost 17. And Rach, you gotta tell this one.
Oh, so I'm at work like the Wednesday before the Thanksgiving, and I'm there, and he texts me. He goes, "What's your ring size?" And I was like, I don't know what to do with this, but okay, I'll entertain it. And so I sent him my ring size. Heard nothing else until later that night when you called me. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me.
Oh, you were like, I really like you. I really wanted to go there, but not yet.
I don't.
I can't remember what.
Yeah.
But it was to that effect. And then I got my ring, my engagement ring, a year later.
Yeah, I know it was moving on, but Chris knew.
Yeah, I met him I met you in March, and then I got my proposal from Chris in November. So we were at a good pace. So I was like feeling encouraged.
Yeah, you're my son decided that you guys got to get married after. Oh God!
And then I got a proposal from the parents, which about the live-in situation.
Oh yeah. I know you're looking to buy property out here.
Because we were looking
to buy a house, but
yeah.
What would you say to inheriting this house? And we'll give you $10,000 to renovate the upstairs, but you got to take care of us as we get older. And Rach had one question:
do we have use of the backyard? Because it was so pretty. I always loved coming over and sitting out there for like dinner or just being out there.
Oh my God, we're about
big garden.
We're about to sneak up to Central Time. where we can toast Bad Mike, the most organized man in RPG, who was unable to attend tonight, probably because he's so organized he forgot.
Look at that. Look at that pup.
Oh,
Oh my God! Beautiful
Oh,
doggy.
Everyone who meets this dog wants to take him home. Like they're like, "We love your dog. Can we take him home?"
It's
And he's like, no, we saw that. Did you see that look? The dog was like, nope, I'm staying here, Mom. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going nowhere. Nowhere, no how. Ain't happening. You know.
So, Eric,
yes.
when I decided I had to marry Tammy, there was a family member living in this house, and I told Dad, I says, "Listen, Dad, I can't marry Tammy and have her move in here with this family member." And he says, "That's fine. They're evicted."
Oh shit!
Just
I
like-
know, but your
Oh,
dad, I
you
love
love
your
having
dad. Your
that
dad and I
marriage.
like.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
dad and I so connected.
Well, yeah, you know, part of it was a burden on my part because I was interfering with that person abusing him, you know, doing elder abuse.
Okay.
And
I know, but
that is
that's
the
so
worst.
hard. It's so
I know
hard.
it's hard, but it's the truth. And I was like, Dad, look, I have to marry her, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to move out. And the minute I said that to him, he says, "That's it, they're evicted."
Yep. I caught it
I'm like,
before
okay.
spilling my popcorn.
So-
God,
Aw.
parents know.
They know exactly.
So, yeah, my dad knew.
They know who's treating them
Yeah.
well or
My
who's suited to them.
Yeah, my mother told me early on. She's like, "Rach is the right one for you. She makes you a better you." I went,
Oof.
"Oh." She's like, my mother like, I gave that kind of look too. I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You're pretty good on your own, but Rach just she lets you be you. You know, she lets
That's so
you
true.
be the better you." And by the way, Central Time. Happy
Oh my
New
gosh,
Year.
it's 1:00.
Happy New
It's-
Year.
Cheers.
It's midnight in Texas. Bad Mike, we miss you. Fuck you.
Oh, Bad Mike's not here.
I know. Bad Mike.
Because
Bad
Happy
Mike, where
New
are
Year.
you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
I look forward to meeting you, Mike. I'll be out there in about a year. So
There you go.
you got to North Texas. Listen, I've gone to a lot of
Just
conventions, the old school conventions or ones that have old school tracks. Gary Con, Game Hole, Total Con, Shire Con, North Texas. Nothing holds a candle to North Texas. If you're an old school gamer,
I mean,
If
I
you-
would go back for the spa at Greg Geneva.
at Grand Geneva,
Just
and
saying.
you'd go back to Game Hole just to explore Madison. I understand that,
Hmm.
but there's something about North Texas. The first year we went to
Yeah,
North
North Texas, you don't need to go anywhere. I mean, although I would like to go over to that Grapevine spot again.
Yeah.
That was pretty. It was a nice downtown shopping area.
but
how
our
many people are at North Texas?
450 to 500. They max around 525. But they have the same number of special guests as Game Hole or GaryCon. So when you go to North Texas, if you want to have time with a special guest, you'll have time with a special guest. I mean, I will tell the story of I'm talking to Mel Rasmussen. Frank Metzner is patiently waiting to talk to me, and James Spahn comes up behind Merle and does a full frontal Monty on me. I get to see man boob because James thinks it's going to be hilarious, and James is like a brother to me. And Merle sees it at the corner of his eye, and he's trying hard not to laugh his ass
Right,
off.
because he's so straight.
Yes, and in the meantime, Frank had no idea. I'm like this, like the kid from Home Alone. I'm like, oh my god, I am here. So
I'm reading some of Merle's work right now. I'm getting ready to do a huge deep dive into his, original claim to fame. Loving it.
Merle is a wonderful person.
He really is.
He
so
is
sweet.
he's probably the nicest man in old school gaming. Darlene is probably the nicest woman in old school gaming. But everyone at North Texas is just spot on. You can approach anyone. There's nobody who's gonna be like, I don't have time for you. It's not like Gary Con is great. Gary Con is a bucket list place, but Gary Con, if you want to have time spent with a special guest, generally speaking, unless you personally know them, you good luck with that. There's too many people. I mean, North Texas, you go to the hotel bar, and you're pulling up. Well, let's see. Sometimes Merle will be there, but he usually brings his own beer.
Yeah, he's not usually.
He might come in for
They'll go in for maybe a meal.
and
his
socialize.
wife.
But you're going to sit down there and you'll be like, oh, I mean, it used to be you'd always see Frank, you'd always see Tim, but
They
they've gotten
don't
older.
stay late though.
Well, but Tim-
yeah.
But I mean, I was there with Dr. Sutherland.
Sutherland?
Yes. What's his first name? Dennis Astaire. Sorry.
Astaire, yeah.
Sorry, Dennis Astaire. Me and Dennis one time, not only did we close down the bar, but it was 3:30, and I was like, Dennis, this is like.
Well, we all had to bring our drinks
out and then some. I'm like, Dennis, it's 4:30. I gotta go to sleep. And Dennis was Bunnies and Burrows. The Chariotus Astaire was his for the Druids. I mean, you can actually, or the younger special guests, like Jeff Talanian. I don't think Jeff's doing too many conventions aside from North Texas this year.
North Texas or Shire?
ShireCon, North Texas. I don't think he's doing much more than that. I think,
just the two.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's special guests.
Totals.
I don't know. But it's like Tom Wham, a bunch of your favorite artists, Jeff D. These are all people you can just bump into and just talk with, which is a great thing about North Texas. And I will say this, because I've witnessed this over the years, and I've been going to North Texas now for over 10. I've seen more handshake deals happen between publishers and creators, publishers and publishers, and creators at North Texas, where I've just been an incidental witness or somebody, hey, we want you to witness this, so you're third party. I've never seen that at Game Hall or GaryCon. It happens at North Texas all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I predict that's going to happen at WizardCon.
Well, because when you had a convention where people are relaxed and people, like, if you're...
Don might have that at WizardCon because of that nature of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you go to Game Hall, when you go to GaryCon, they are so crowded that there's so much attention at these special guests. And people like...
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I think it is different because some of the special guests are... I don't know. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Altogether.
It's a very different vibe.
Do you think that the Dungeons and Discourse lady would come, the Irish lady from the Dungeons and Discourse with a pink lipstick?
If she's in Ireland, probably not. I mean, they've had...
Because we've had Irish folk over in North Texas.
But, I mean, the only international that they were able to bring over was James Raggy last year. They brought him over as a special guest because they had somebody donate his plane fare.
Oh.
So I mean,
James Raggy's an interesting character.
I truly, I don't want to say love because it's too strong a word, but I really like James as a person, as a creator. James and I talk more often than we probably should, or more often than I have any right to. But I really feel flattered that James will reach out to me. So James is going to be one of the first fireside chats. Vanger's going to be one of the first. Vanger's going to be one of the first firesides to say if they shut up. Tom, you're going to be early on. Don, Shadow. I mean,
I'm looking forward to James Raggy and Venger Satanis.
Listen, Venture has. When I was younger, when I was courting Rach, I think Opie and Anthony were like dead in the water. I think they were no longer in existence. But Opie and Anthony were my shock jocks.
No, we were listening to.
Oh, we still were.
On the XM
okay.
or some shit. Or
yeah, but they died
shortly
shortly thereafter. They got officially unpersoned.
Right.
But they were my shock jocks. They were, and I enjoyed them because they were fairly authentic. Wenger is a shock jock in the OSR, and I know him well enough to know that as a creative, he is exceptional. And I've met him in person. I actually had breakfast with him at GaryCon a number of years ago.
Yeah, he's my favorite new writer that I've discovered in the community. He reminds me a lot of David A. Hargrave from Arduin, the original author.
Okay, I can see that.
He uses all the pop culture references of his time and or their times, and the gonzo sense of humor, and just obviously Venger's a little bit more over the top, whereas Hargrave was a little more subtle with his humor, but at the same time he would throw everything in there. When you look at Chalt compared to Arduin, they would throw it didn't matter if it made any sense. It was what they wanted to put in it, whether it's sci-fi mixed with fantasy, mixed with post-apocalyptic. They want it all in their world, and it makes sense to them because that's what they want.
Right.
It's not a matter of trying to find out these ways to make it make sense. It's like, no, we don't care. That's what we want. That's what you're going to get. And if you're into it, awesome. If not, there's a million other games out there.
So
here's what I like about Venger Satanis is that he's very obviously a very thoughtful thinker. And that's what I like about him. And I know I'm going to get painted with a broad paintbrush. Oh, he's a Venger Satanis, whatever. I don't care. The guy is really a thinker, and as I look at what he does, I can tell there's a lot of thought going into what he does. And I respect that. Even though I don't agree with the guy on some things, I respect the fact that he knows what he's doing and why he's doing it, and he puts the thought into it. And that I can respect. And so I've had some really great conversations with him behind the scenes in the gaming community, and I really appreciated that. And, if I ever have the chance to sit down and, if he's ever in Maine, I'll be like, come over, let's barbecue. You won't get much notice, but, if he's ever in Maine, I'm going to be like, just dude, come over to the house. Let's barbecue. And
it's Maine, so that means great. January. Sorry.
I have to be careful every time I get a new book from him, because I'll open it, on camera, on the show with my son. But the artwork and of course, originally the name, I was telling my son about this guy Venger Satanis, and my son's eyes just went, what? Who is this guy you're hanging out with? I'm like, no, seriously, watch a couple of his videos. You'll dig him. And he's like, yeah, I'm still suspicious. And then the first book comes in, and he's got a thing with being very very, very old fashioned when it comes to grown up subjects, men and women, that sort of thing. And he saw some of the artwork, and he just about it was just like, it disowned me. It was like, what is this you're bringing into the house, kind of thing. And I'm like, dude, trust me, kiss your first girl, everything, your whole brain will just flip 180. Trust me. But his entire outlook is perfect for what I want to see in a game. I actually want to read stuff that's not so dry and matter of fact. I want to have some humor in there, and I don't always want it to be like goofy. I want it to be subtle, but at the same time, if he wants to throw in something ridiculous, you know, I'm loving it. He's literally, in my opinion, the funniest writer out there in the content creator community. I have not laughed so much reading any other game book except maybe back in the day the old Monty Hall, or it was the Monty Hall Dungeon. You remember that one? The Monty Hall Phantasmagorical Monty Hall Dungeon.
Okay, yes.
The little digest book. There was like 12 pages just filled with goofy shit. But it's still in my collection. I've never run it, but that's the only thing I can compare it to. Everybody else is, just a little bit too serious sometimes. For me to really enjoy it, I really want to get a good laugh out of any game book, and it's a rare game designer that can do that without coming across as just I don't know. It's just not anybody I can think of that can do it like he can. Yeah, Goofy can be deadly or just really ruin the entire idea of the game. We're all for the most part adults, and we can handle just about anything. But some of the stuff, in those charts of his, you've got to just be careful because he's going to throw some stuff in there. You're just like, oh crap, he pulled this out of such and such movie or such and such book, or it's just you could easily take it seriously and then realize when you lay that thing on your table, the rest of the players are just busting up laughing and you won't know why. So you really gotta
you'll get the joke and you won't. That's
right. Because as DMs we're taking everything seriously. There's no joking, that sort of idea.
There's no joking in D&D. There's no crying in baseball.
If I don't leave a game table with my cheeks or my belly hurting, my ribs from laughing, it wasn't a good time. It really wasn't.
I want to give a shout out. You just put a comment on there from Peter Delios. And Peter Delios is one of the players in the very first game that I came back to, which was a 3.5 game after I had been away from D&D for a long time. I had not done 2. Second edition. And so Peter and his friends very graciously accepted me at their table, and we played D&D 3.5 for a period of time. And so he was kind of my gateway drug back into the hobby of role playing. And I just love Peter. He is a great guy. And I want to give a shout out because his family owns Cane's Donuts in Saugus, Massachusetts. And if you're ever in Saugus, Massachusetts, don't you dare even go to a friggin' Dunkin' Donuts. Just don't even disrespect yourself. Just go to Cane's Donuts. And if you really want to like choke the horse, get the coffee roll. They have a coffee roll which is to die for. I mean, it's like you bring it to a deacon's meeting at your church and cut it up, and everybody has a piece, and they're satisfied. It's incredible. Peter Delios is one of the most wonderful people I've ever met in the hobby, and I cannot say enough about this man. He's just a great human being, and I love the guy. And we're still friends to this day, even though I moved away from Mass. I just love the guy. He's great to play with. He's a great D&D player, and he welcomed me back into the hobby, into D&D 3.5. Even though I don't like D&D 3.5 so much, but still, I love Peter. Good people. So I appreciated you putting the comment on the screen.
Oh yeah, definitely. RPG Grandma, bigger names. There are some bigger names that I'm sure I can get without much effort. Luke Gygax, certainly being one of them. Luke and I are friends. But some of the names, people that know me or know of me, but I don't really know. People like Mike Merles and stuff like that. if I'm doing this and it's successful and it has an audience and it gets known, yeah, that won't be as big an issue. Which is why the first, dozen or 2 dozen or so are going to be people that I have personal connections with that I can make a phone call or send a PM out and go, hey, Skeeter, looking to grab you for 10, 15 minutes when you got a chance. Maybe Bill Webb, maybe other creators. Maybe we don't really hear from like Matt Jackson, which I swear to God, I'm gonna have to probably tie him down to get him to do this shit. Oh God, Matt's supposed to be doing a YouTube series about playing solo RPGs, and he's fallen flat on that. Yes, Matt, I'm picking on you because I love you. All right, we've seen East Coast and Central. So I don't think I'm going to make it to Mountain Time. I don't think I have it in me. But
Sorry, Shadow.
We still gotta
It's quite all right. I'm actually getting called away myself.
Steve,
Uh,
so timing is right. Shadow, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And, you're gonna have to return the favor, you two, and come on to my show. I usually do one of two shows with special guests like yourself, either one-on-one, but since there's the two of you, I'm gonna hit you guys with the 20 questions show. And don't worry, I'll send you the questions first because sometimes there's been a question the community wants to ask, but the guest doesn't want to answer. So full disclosure, I'll send you some questions, and then we'll see what happens because we usually like swerve way off, completely away from the questions for whatever.
Sounds very familiar to us. Yeah.
If your kid needs a shout out, I'm happy to have him on my show to give him a little bump.
Oh, okay. That that I will let him know. Despite his overconfident demeanor, sometimes he's still young. He's only 15, and something like that will really boost his confidence. I really
no. I'm happy to give a kid a bump anytime. One of my writers for the magazine, his daughter's looking to build her resume for art school, for applying for art school. And I was like, dude, I says, listen, I got a couple ideas for some covers that are not that hard. I think they're within her skill. Have her do a cover and I will totally write a recommendation as a editor for the fan magazine. I'm happy to do that.
That's
and
awesome.
So anytime I can help a kiddo out.
Well, you know what? Look me up on Discord, and we can chat and maybe hang out a little bit more often too, because I do try to catch your show, but man,
yeah, well, hit me up on Facebook because I really hate to go to Discord.
Oh, okay, no worries.
All right, so Tom, Peter he's going to drag a quick thing out of us. Quick question: what is your favorite character ever played and which game? Before you all sign off, so I will say that I don't have a favorite character from a standard RPG because I didn't really have a chance to play any of them long enough. Generally, I DM'd a lot. So Tenkar comes from my Dwarven Paladin in EverQuest 1, which I played for years. And before I played Tenkar as EverQuest 1, Tenkar's origin was as a Dwarven henchman in my 2E game with my regular player. So the players liked Tenkar, and I just kind of reinvented him in EverQuest. And then when I needed a social media name, because I was an active police officer in internal affairs as a sergeant, I was like, oh yeah, Tenkar, I could go with that. That sounds fun. So that's what that origin is.
Shadow, how about you?
You guys remember MASH?
Yeah.
Okay, remember how Hawkeye got his name?
No, I don't.
From the book, from the reading the novel, yeah.
When he was a youngster, he read his favorite book was Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah.
And the character Hawkeye from that. when I was a little guy, it wasn't a book, it was literally The Shadow, the radio dramas. I would be up Sunday night after Dr. Demento as a little tiny kid, watching, listening to The Shadow, and later on I found the paperback books and the comic books. But when I was a youngster, that's what my old man would call me. And funny thing is, the name stuck because my old man, through his gun shop, I got to work with some very famous private investigators, and so doing all kinds of PI stuff, shadowing people, etc. So the name is just stuck with me since I was 9-10 years old, from my dad to my dad's best friend and his boss, and it just stuck with me. And I love The Shadow, Lamont Cranston, and all the other personas and the whole character. I love radio shows, and that's probably a big part of why I got into Dungeons and Dragons in the first place as a youngster, because I wanted to be part of a story that just went on and on and on and on, like The Shadow did. The Shadow was just a worldwide phenomenon for decades running before television. It's an amazing story. And even Alec Baldwin, when he was in the movie, I'm like, you know what, he did a really good job. Despite all the things that happened later, I'll always give it up for him. He did a good job. A lot of people might have hammed it up or whatever. It's just my favorite character of all time, and it just happened to be what I was doing for a good long time, and it stuck. And when it came to making a YouTube channel, there was just no question as what we were going to call it. And unfortunately, the little guy is going to get to 18, and then he's going to reveal my secret identity, knowing that I can't. No, I'm kidding.
Well, for me, it was in high school. I was talking with a friend named David Volbrick, and somehow I talked about this Philip the Jug, and somehow this kind of became corrupted to Philip the Jug. And so he was supposed to be a hard drinking type of warrior. And when I first came back to Dungeons and Dragons, and I played in a 3.5 game with Peter Delios, of all people, my first character was a fighter named Philip the Jug. And I love this character because I managed to paint him with a 5 o'clock shadow on his chin. I managed to figure out how to do it so that the peach flesh shone through, but you had that nice 5 o'clock. It was perfect. And I love that figure, and I love that character, and I played him with Peter. But my favorite of all time RPG character is a character named Khan, kind of inspired by Khan Noonien Singh from Star Trek, but he's a Yazarian priest who was kicked out of the priesthood of the family of one. And I actually played him twice in 2 different online games, 2 different play-by-post. I just love this idea, and it's in part because I was kicked out of the seminary, so I kind of had shit to work out.
Nice.
So I love this character of this Yazarian priest who was kicked out of his priesthood. He was defrocked from being a priest, and I just loved him. And I actually played him twice in 2 different play-by-posts. So that is my absolute favorite character. And Tammy's kind of doing this because I said shit online.
No.
But,
Oh my God.
Hey,
Holy fuck. You said shit. My God.
Yeah, I did.
When Tammy, if you watch this channel, there is everything goes except for words that rhyme with a baseball term that begins with a B, which I have actually said the baseball term and gotten demonetized for.
Pitch.
So I'm not going to say that.
No.
The word pitch.
if you punt in baseball or softball,
Oh, yeah, punt.
Punt.
that's bad.
Yeah, punting.
I mean, it could be good, but
Yeah, that's a
for Eric,
football
it works
term.
out badly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, oh jeez. I'm sure we're demonetized anyway. I mean, anytime I do anything that talks about health,
I mean,
It
not
gets-
that we talked about health.
no, it's true. But if we talk about health, it gets demonetized.
Really,
Really.
really, that's too bad.
Well, could you
That
have
is really.
more?
Yeah,
And Philip the Chug, that is hysterical. That is hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Eric and Rach, we mentioned you in a video earlier today. I would really appreciate it if you gave it a minute of your time,
Oh, sure,
absolutely.
definitely.
just to make sure I got everything right.
Yeah.
It's our most recent video. I won't upload anything for a little while. Because of
Definitely.
festivities, as you can hear, they're going crazy downstairs.
I hear people.
And folks, listen, I want to put something up. Don's been working on this. It's probably 95% ready for prime time. What little isn't probably is my fault, but I'm putting up the link to the gamershealthonline.com website. It's going to be a forum there. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on there. As I said before, I'll say it again. This is your site. These are your forums. This is your place. And I don't believe in safe places, but this is going to be a place where we can discuss things as a community without being judged. Okay.
Thank you, Eric, for that. We appreciate it.
Thank Don, because he's done
He did that footwork.
he's done the yeoman's work on this one.
Yeah.
He really has, and hopefully everything worked out fine for him tonight and his family.
Yeah.
On that note, Shadow, thank you. Tom, Tammy, thank you.
Thank you.
Shadow, thank you to your son.
I will.
Really great to have him on. Folks, we are in the new year. It's 2024. Although I've been ordained on the internet a number of times, it's the internet, so you know what they say on the internet. What happens on the internet stays on the internet. It doesn't really mean jack shit. But be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back tomorrow with another video of some random sort. And God bless you all.
Take care,
Amen.
everyone.
Big up.
God bless.
Thank you.
Happy trails.
Happy
Amen.
trails. Yes.